Hey everyone, Foxy Carnage here. This is the second half of my list of GBA games that deserve more attention. I'm sorry that I had to make you guys wait for this, but I finally have it ready for you to see. If you want to see the first half, I'll have a link in the description. With all that said, on with the video. Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. I absolutely love the prequel trilogy, despite the backlash it still gets nowadays. The prequels were why I got into Star Wars, and some of the tie-in games were actually pretty damn good. This game is no exception. Revenge of the Sith follows the plot of the movie to a T, having you play as either Obi-Wan Kenobi or Anakin Skywalker. The in-game sprites are very well detailed and animated, the controls feel super tight, and the gameplay feels very reminiscent of Capcom's Knights of the Round, where you traverse through different locales, mowing down battle droids and clone troopers with your lightsaber and using different force abilities, and being able to unlock new moves, as well as increase your health, force usage, and even your strength, adding light RPG elements as well. There's no denying this one is definitely worth your time if you ever wanted to play as a Jedi, and even more so if you enjoy the movie the game is based on.
I came in from the cold and the dark. Outside the city was a cruel monster. I've been slowly working my way from the small time to the big fish, trying to get to the source of the drug. Alex and BB were my only contacts in the DEA, the only ones in this decrepit city who knew I was down here.
BB here. Something urgent has come up with Jack Lapino. You need to meet with Alex immediately at the Roscoe Street station.
I hadn't had a face-to-face with Alex since I'd gone undercover. The feeling hit me like a point-blank shot straight in the face. Something was not right about this. My Beretta stirred nervously under my coat, but the train doors had already shut behind me, and I was in for the ride. Next stop, Roscoe Street Station, and Alex.
Here's one that took me by surprise. I was already familiar with the original PC release of Max Payne, but I was honestly shocked to find out how good the GBA version is. Yeah, some levels and pieces of the story were either changed or removed altogether, but the story is still the same, and what's even cooler is that a lot of the voice acting from the console and PC versions made its way into this little GBA port. And it doesn't sound too bad for the GBA. As for the game itself, it plays in an isometric top-down perspective, very much like the Super Nintendo version of Shadowrun. The iconic bullet time gimmick is here and accounted for, and you can easily switch between weapons on the fly. I can also say that this version of Max Payne is way more forgiving than either the PC or console versions, giving you 5 continues, acting as checkpoints, and always resetting it back as you go from chapter to chapter. However, the game is still tough as nails, just not as hard as the other versions, so keep that in mind if you're thinking of trying this one out. Astro Boy Omega Factor, a fine game made by the folks at Treasure, the same people behind the iconic masterpiece that was Gunstar Heroes for the Sega Genesis. There's really not much I can say except, this game is awesome. The story of the game takes its own spin on the Astro Boy mythos, and mixes elements from both the 1982 and 2003 anime adaptations, while also mixing different gameplay elements. Sometimes you'll beat the living crap out of evil robots, other times you'll fight off enemies in classic shoot-'em-up fashion, all while encountering different characters and filling up the Omega Factor, hence the name of the game. This really is a great game by Treasure, and one of the best Astro Boy games ever made. I simply cannot recommend it enough. Again, like all of the games on this list, I don't know its current price for a physical copy, but to save you guys the frustration, I won't say anything about it. Really, you should just play this game any way you possibly can. It's that good. Alright, to wrap this list up, we have at the end, Sigma Star Saga. This one is yet another hybrid sort of game like Astro Boy Omega Factor, where it's part action RPG and also part side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. The story is that you play as ace pilot Ian Wrecker, who, after surviving an alien attack, is backstabbed by a superior officer and forced to work alongside this alien race he so despises. But he must work with them in order to survive. The action RPG section of the game is pretty straightforward. You explore the surfaces of different planets, and when there's a threat you need to take out from above, you're forced into the shoot-'em-up part of the game through random encounters. As you progress through the game, you get more items and more weapon configurations to mix and match for your next aerial encounter. I'm not gonna lie, I think this game has got to be one of the most underrated GBA games I've ever come across. And it's a real shame it never caught on as well as it could have. Well, that doesn't really stop it from being a fun experience though. If you like shoot-'em-ups like Gradius, R-Type, or the Darius series, with mixed-in elements of the action RPG genre, I'd say this game is definitely worth your time. So yeah, there's my list of what I consider GBA games that deserve more attention. I know some of you watching this will say there are a lot of other GBA games that deserve more attention as well. I understand that, but for the moment I only had room for 8 games. If you guys want me to, I'll make another, shorter list of games that I think don't get enough attention. It may not even be for the GBA, it may be something for like the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, original Game Boy. Well, you get the idea. So, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content, and as for what I do next, well, who knows? And of course, on my second channel, I will be uploading Let's Plays and gameplay related videos every Sunday and Wednesday, as consistently as I can. I'm Foxy Carnage, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. See you guys then.